God's blessings be with you, Algebra 2 students. I want to do a couple problems with you to help you to be as prepared as possible for tomorrow's quiz. I know it's a bit late, and I hope I'll be able to get this up tonight. Went to church tonight, and that's one of the reasons it will be a bit late. But God, you guide us, Father. I know that you're here, and I honor your presence in Jesus' name. So on number 11, it says solve the system by substitution. You know, substitution is when you look for a standalone variable and then you substitute for that variable in the other equation. So we look at this and we see the second equation here as the standalone x, and Marley was working this one. So let's continue with what she was doing. This is the one we're going to be working with. So let me indicate that we're going to use this one right here. How are we going to get this x to stand by itself? We add 3y to both sides. So we go ahead and add 3y to the left of the equal sign, and we have to add 3y to the right of the equal sign as well. That way, we get rid of the 3y because negative 3y plus 3y is equal to 0. So the only thing that survives on the left will be the x. So I have x is equal to 3y minus 6. That's what we want. We want that variable to be by itself, and we're going to be coming back to this after we find the value of y. So this now is what x is, and we're going to substitute for x in the other equation, in this equation right here. So here it comes. We're going to plug this x in here in our next step. So let's take it now. Writing this equation, we have a negative 4. And instead of x, we're going to write what? This, 3y minus 6. 3y minus 6. Don't forget this plus 9. Sorry, plus 9y actually. That's going to be equal to 9. Okay, this is what's going to give you some work. And if you're determined and just trust, you'll be able to work it through. I don't have my usual pen, so I'm going a little bit slower than usual, but I'm going to do it as well. I'm going to use this negative 4 and distribute by multiplication over the positive 3y. So we have a negative 4 times a positive 3y. My sign should be what? Negative. Because negative with positive give me a negative. So that's a negative 4 times 3 is 12. And that's y. Then we have a negative 4 times a negative 6. And that will give me a positive. Sign same is positive. So that's going to be a 24. And then we write this as is. So it's plus 9y equals 9. Okay, and Marley had gotten to this point even further than that. Now take a look at this. What's the next step? I hope you recognize that we should put like terms together. This one is just like this one. They're both y's, and I trust you know why we're putting them together. All right, so you have a positive 12y plus, sorry, negative 12y, positive 9y. What would that be? It's going to give me a negative 3y plus 24 That's going to equal to 9. Couple steps, and I'll have my y. What should I do next? I want the y term to be by itself, so I'm going to do what? Subtract 24. Positive 24, negative 24 destroy each other. That goes to 0. And then positive 9 with a negative 24. That gives me over here negative 15. On the right side, I still have my negative 3y. So negative 3y equals negative 15, and you know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3, and when I do, I'm going to have y is equal to 5. And I think this is where Marley got to on the bell, right? So we're going to finish this up. Y equals 5. What should I do now? Here's a trick I want you to know. I want you to plug this y value not back in the original here or here. I want you to plug it into the x equal to equation, because this x equal to equation is ready to give me the x value once I know the y. So I'm going to plug it in like this into the x equal to equation. This one right here, I'm going to plug in the y here. That's why I put the arrow here, because I knew I was coming back. And now, in plugging it in, I get x. This x is equal to 3 times whatever y is, and y happens to be 5, minus 6 right here. Minus 6. So here I go now. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 6. And I know, some of you got it, I know, before you left, is equal to 9. So my overall answer, this is the x. Overall answer is over here. Solution is at the point where x is 9 and y should be a comma here, not 91, should be a comma, and y is 5. That's your solution. But I'd like you to do that. You could go back. If you're not sure, just go back and rework this until you're confident with it. All right? So let's go forward. I'd like to do at least one of the graphing with you. So let's go forward to it. Yeah, this is kind of a basic one. It says solve the system of linear equations by graphing. So the method we just used is the substitution. Now we're going to use the graphing. And we've done quite a bit of these, those who were here. We have y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4. This is slope-intercept form, where this is the m and this is the b. So we start by looking at the b. B is the y-intercept, so it's 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here we start. It's a y value and x is 0. And from here we're going to get another point by using the slope. The slope is negative 3 over 2. So here it comes, m is equal to negative 3 over 2. That means one option is a negative 3 over a positive 2. That will give me an overall negative 3/2, because the negative here is right on the division line, so it means it's overall. Or you could get it like this. You could say a positive 3 over a negative 2. All right? Either of these would give you a negative 3 over 2. Let's use this version here. Negative 3, that's my fall, really, and 2 is my run. So from here, I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to run 2, 1, 2, to get my second point. My second point is right here, and here comes the graph. Here comes the line. I'm going to draw it like this. So that's my line. Let me go ahead and just put the arrow to show that it continues. That's the first one. This one is going to be similar. So for this one, what's the y-intercept? I can hear you saying -2. So I start with -2, -1, -2. So that's my y-intercept right there. That's the first point. My slope in this one is what? 3/2. So that's positive. So it's going to be a rise of 3 from here. 1, 2, 3. And a run of 2. 1, 2. Bring me right on this point. So this point doubles up right here. So I'm going to draw my line through here. Like this. So you can see where the solution is. Let's put a little arrow there indicating that this line continues. I'm going to circle the solution point. The solution is always an x value and a y value. So the x value is x comes first, going this way, 1, 2 for the x, and 1 for the y. So here comes the solution. It's going to be 2, 1 for the solution. That's a point of agreement of these two lines. All right. Now let's see if we can do this one together. Again, I'd like you to go back and just erase and do this by yourself. Don't just try and study it. Try and do it by yourself. Okay, let's see if I can finish this one. If I don't finish it, then I want you to finish it. 13. This one is in standard form. ax plus by equals -4. This is also in standard. So it's not graphable in the same way, but I can do a little trick on this one. I hope you can follow me as I show you how to do this. Here I'm going to go ahead and do intercepts. Intercepts is what I'm going to be doing. This means intercepts for the first one. And I do that because this 4 can go into this, and the 1 here can go into the -4. So what I do is I say when x is 0, that means you don't see the x, what would y be? Think about that. When x is 0, what would y be? So I'm covering the x. I divide both sides by the -4, and I get y equals what? Y would be equal to 1. So y-intercept would be when x is 0, y is 1. And for the x-intercept, when y is 0, I'm covering the y term because when y is 0, then x is what? X is going to be -4. So when y is 0, x is -4. So that would give me the points I need for the first line. So let me go ahead and do that. 0, 1 would be right here. And -4, 0 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 would be right here. So this is the first line. So it looks something like this. First line. And the second line, I can see I'm going to run out of time. You're going to have to transform this one to y equals mx plus b because 5 can't go into 12. And that's what you have to do. Transform this to y equals mx plus b. You say, how do I do that? You subtract 5x from both sides, then you divide both sides by -4, and you get it in y equals mx plus b form, and you graph it and find the point of intersection. All right? God bless you, and look forward.